Many of you know that I've been taking a few classes with Dr. Lori. I'm going to sign up for a couple more. I'm not sure really how much they're adding to my knowledge base, but they're confirming a few things. And I want to share with you anything that I think is appropriate for you that will help you make a lot more money. The only reason I'm here is to help you make a lot more money. And that concerns these certificates of authenticity. I asked her during our class about them. I've had my theory about them for a long time. Certificate of authenticity, as you probably have seen, they come with artwork, different art pieces, collector's plates with collector's coins, plate of the month club type of things. And you get the feeling sometimes as you see more and more COAs, certificates of authenticity, you get the feeling that they often come with things that are pretty junky. Really, who cares if they're authentic or not? Who would go to the trouble to fraudulently create some plate of the month club plate? But they also come with expensive pieces of art. So where do they fall? What is their actual value when it comes to adding value to our items? It really doesn't matter in one way, because if you have a framed picture that you're selling and you have the COA, you have the collector, the certificate of authenticity, you're going to include it, right? And you're going to take pictures of it and you're going to show it in the initial picture that you've got that. So it doesn't really change what we do. If it comes with it, you want to sell it with it. That's just part of it. But what I'm concerned with and what I'm interested in is how much value do they actually add? Sometimes you don't have one, sometimes you do. These all started back in the days. Actually, I think the first ones of these began, seems like I recall the early ones were all the way back to Edgar Degas. Degas paintings. You may have heard of Degas. It's spelled Degas. And the reason they started selling his prints, he would paint something, big painting, and then they would make prints from it. And then they would make another batch of prints from it because the first set of prints ran out. Then they'd make another batch, and they realized we've got thousands of prints out there. Anybody could be doing prints. We are going to issue a certificate of authenticity with all of our subsequent prints to show that this is actually a Degas approved print or his family's print if he had passed away after that. The COAs that they included sort of helped, in their thinking, makes sense, legitimatize the subsequent prints that they were selling because there were so many on the market, and many people have done it since. The most recent thing that comes to mind for me is Thomas Kinkade. Every Thomas Kinkade painting came with a COA. So they're still doing it today with artwork and with lots of things. So I want to know how much value that these certificate of authenticities actually add. Just for curiosity's sake, I think as resellers we should know that. If we sell this print of this, Thomas Kinkade print, what if it doesn't come with the COA? What if we found it at a yard sale for $1, but there's no COA on the back? Usually he had a little envelope on the back of the frame that had the COA in it and all this other paperwork trying to sell other prints. What if I don't have that? How much value do I lose? Will people think that this is an inauthentic print? Well, one, they won't, because there are so many tens of thousands of prints by Thomas Kinkade sold. Every single picture he sold, just thousands and thousands of prints. No one's going to be making these up, trying to make money off these. They're going to go for more expensive prints. But in my view, and this is what I was asking Dr. Lori, I actually just said I'm not interested if my theory is correct. In my view, if someone can forge a piece of art, then can't they forge a certificate of authenticity? I mean, how much trouble is it to forge this if they can forge one of these paintings by Degas? Right? How much do these COAs actually add for us? And Dr. Lori answered. She had an answer. She said, I can tell you the value of a COA. Here's what it adds. Here's the dollar amount that it adds to a painting, to a print, to a plate, or whatever. The certificate of authenticity, you can count on that adding the cost of the paper it took to print it. So she's saying it's worth the piece of paper it's printed on. That's how much value they add. And that tells us that I was correct, but it also tells us that if you don't have one, don't worry about it. It's not a major thing. In my not so humble opinion, if something comes with a COA in general, it's not worth forging to begin with. It's not worth making, a mock-up anyway. It's not worth it. No one's going to try to do that. So if you don't have the COA, if you were to sell this print without the COA, I don't think anybody on earth is going to wonder if that's fake. Wonder if she's selling a fake print of Thomas Kinkade. As a matter of fact, there are even YouTube videos on how to create your own certificate of authenticity. So they're worthless. They don't matter. But if you don't have one, we know now, don't worry about it.